that for women in the 21st century now, I was just talking about one of the aspirations of women. What are the new aspirations for the young women of India today? And whatever those aspirations are, how can us here, the people here, help those?
Thank you very much for this splendid opportunity. I am Kanksshi Agarwal. I am the founder of Netri Foundation and Access Polity. The second identity is that I am a Cyril Schroff Scholar studying at the Blavatsky School of Government, my master's in public policy, and I am at the Oxford India Center for Sustainable Development. So the work that Netri did for 6 years was setting up India's first incubator, a non-partisan incubator for women in political ecosystem. Small story, I was coming out of 8 Indian elections, managing a state and national election. I was young, looking at the rooms, and you don't see as many women. So I was like, okay, I will go out there and start a non-partisan incubator for women in politics. And people might have said, why don't you work in policy, poverty, education, and so many other spaces? Why politics? Why is it relevant? Today, I think it is even more relevant with what is happening with the declining democracies across the world. In studying these women, because we work with across the country, right? When you look at power as a question that is power and aspiration for them at all, I will break it down into 3 big narrative shifts that needs to happen, and we can work on that together. The first thing is that we usually see that Indian women are post-graduating much more than they did back in the day. So 49% women are enrolled in postgraduate programs. You compare that data alongside women in economic forces, and you will see that since last 25 years, it has stagnated between 25 to 30%, and COVID actually also had a massive hit on that. So women are not participating as much in economy, and there is a missing link. The missing link really is the care work. Why am I able to answer that? I am a fourth generation working woman in my family. And I saw my mother had a double whammy. She had a job, and she also did the full-time job of being a woman. Women in my age are questioning, why do we have to do this double work, right? So they would rather drop out, stay at home and maybe make the man a plan, because that patriarchal expectation has also not changed. So if we can build innovative solutions from businesses around care work, and I'm asking businesses to do that because that's where they're going to go and work, right? So they have to figure out solutions that enable those choices. The second part is security and safety. And I also look at that from 2 perspectives. When we say safety, so gender-based violence comes to our mind. That is active violence against women. We face that a lot in India, across the world, but what I, in the limited capacity that I was running this organization did is 67% women said in our programs that they don't want to join politics because who wants to enter such a dirty and threatening system? So we have moved to the Election Commission of India with a representation to bring POSH, which is a Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act, to political parties. It will directly impact 10 million women who claim to be part of political parties in India. So that is second. But the passive security aspect is the climate part. Because we had a woman in our program who was getting trained to be a politician at a local level. It was flood-affected area. She went back and she's like, I don't even have a house. How do I continue my politics, right? So the security element is also the security of livelihood, the security of the home, the security of that district. So that is the second part. The third one is we can keep asking women to get into jobs that pay so low, and wealth creation is a new aspiration amongst the young women, men, I would say. That jobs cannot sustain you over these recession periods, which are also determined by declining democracy. So I'm closing the loop on that. But wealth creation is the third aspect. That how do we create business opportunities for women where they are not only earning money to support the family, but create wealth and pass it on through business legacies to their children. So these are the 3 big areas that we got to know by working with women in politics, because these were their lives as well. And my real clear call to action while I'm studying here is to anyone who wants to donate, work in this sector, I really want to have a narrative shift. And I know this work is going to be harder to do. how do we continue to do the political work, the work of civic participation and democracy with new narratives. I want to be as covert as possible, but as courageous as possible. One of the organizations that has supported Netri's work is also in the room, Apolitical Foundation. Cecilia is representing that. They are based out of Berlin. They are supporting political leadership incubators across the world with 86 incubators across the globe. And Netri has been a beneficiary of that support. So if India wants to support this kind of work, how do we do that? What is the innovative model? How do we remain neutral? These are some of the things that we want to talk about. And one final thing, because you mentioned Rukmini's book, I do want to bring that in. Because when we tell numbers, for example, India has 1.3 million women at the village level. But what we don't look at is that there are no ladders up. At the state level, immediately, it's 9%. At the parliament, it's 14%. So numbers are telling half-truths, and that is why when Netri started, we were like, okay, we will not work with gram panchayats because there are enough organizations working there, but these women don't even have any incentive to leave or any support to go to the state level. Parties are not giving them tickets. Many, many systemic issues, but I did want to bring in that when we start reading these numbers, we read them as stories and tell those stories stronger.
No, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. That's amazing what you're doing.